Hey guys, Dan Greer, Eclipse DOT, coming at you today. I hope that everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are doing great out there. Everybody on, I'm so glad to see you guys. It's great. I can look down here on the comments, see everybody's in here. It's awesome to see everybody joining us today. We got Richard. Hey Richard, we got, oh man, it looks like Jeremy, maybe Don. We got quite a few people on today, it looks like, guys. So hey, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing good. Today we're going to have a quick meeting about slip, trips, and falls for our safety meeting. First off, want to welcome everybody here. Just want to say, hey, thanks for coming. We sure appreciate you guys joining in. Hey, looks like Casey just jumped on. Hey, Casey, how's it going, man? Anyways, just want to say thanks to everybody for coming in, joining us today. We are recording this, so you can share it with your guys later if you want to. This is going to be a new weekly thing. We really hope that everybody comes. We hope that you join in. We hope that you grow your safety culture with us. And this is going to be really quick, straight to the point. No fluff, straight facts, and so we're just glad that everybody's here. Glad you guys are all joining in. Just a few quick housekeeping items we got to take care of. One, this is sponsored by Eclipse DOT, so make sure you go to the website, visit it, www.eclipse-dot.com. We're going to go ahead and throw that in the notes as well, or in the chat, so you guys can see that here in just a little bit. Next step is just thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Today we're going to talk about slips, trips, and falls. There's a few things that we need to know about for slips, trips, and falls. One is they can happen anywhere to anybody, no matter what, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing. So make sure that you're always aware. Some of the biggest reasons for slips and trips and falls is complacency, okay? Maybe we're working on uneven ground and we've been doing it for so long we don't even look anymore where we're walking. Maybe we've got extension cords laying across the ground because we've been using them and then we trip over them. Maybe it's a wet area and we slip in the wetness because we didn't put the sign out. So we really want to be cautious that we're taking care and being cognizant of where we're at and what's going on. Hey Ryan, good to see you, man. Glad you jumped on. Just so glad that we can take a second to look at this stuff. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to slips, trips, and falls. What's one of the first things? We mentioned it, right? Complacency. Being used to the area we're in so it doesn't work for us, okay? So we don't see what's going on because our mind knows what's in front of us. We've done it so many times, we're no longer paying attention. Another reason is we're working in a new area. So new areas are really big for that because now that we don't know the terrain, we don't know where all the steps are, we don't know what kind of floor is there, whether it's going to be, you know, a little bit slippery when it's wet or whether it's like, you know, glazed concrete and you get water on it and you slide for a week or, you know, whether it has grit in it. We don't know until we spend some time in there. So definitely be cautious. Take some time with all of your new employees, with everybody that's new to a job site. Familiarize yourself with it. It's so much easier to go in and familiarize yourself with the job site and what's going on and where holes might be and where soft ground might be than it is to really, you know, man, just struggle with it, because you're going to struggle with it if you don't familiarize yourself. So we've got two things. The first is complacency, right? So we're too used to where we work in. We've been there too long. We've done the job too many times. We stop paying attention. The second is if we're new to the terrain, we're new to the job site, we're new to the location. Those are some major causes for slips and trips. Now let's get into falls. A lot of times with falls, let's kick right back to that complacency, because that's one of the biggest things that we run into is, yeah, I've climbed this ladder all the way to the top 20 times. Yeah, I've worked on this man walk 100 times. Yeah, I've used this ladder every day for the last year. Great, right? But you're complacent now with it because now you're not taking the same precautions as the first day you got on that catwalk and you examined it really thoroughly. You looked at all the welds before you got on it. You know, the first day you used that ladder when it was brand new, before you brought it home from the store, you looked at the fiberglass to make sure it was in good condition. You looked at the aluminum to make sure it wasn't cracked. You looked at the rungs to make sure they weren't bent. You made sure that the equipment you were using was right. You weren't complacent with your equipment, all right? Now, the next thing with falls is harnessing. So OSHA says that you have to harness when you're above a certain level. Does anybody know what level that is? We're going to check the comments here real quick. Yep, you're 100% right. So if you're working in construction industry, right, it's 6 feet. 6 feet. Anything above 6 feet, you have to have a harness on and be clipped in with fall protection. Now, we all know that it is such a pain in the butt to harness in. But here's what I got to tell you guys, is that you're crazy if you don't do it. You're crazy if you don't take the time to do it right. Because guess what? Somebody else is watching you. Now then, your complacency, your knowledge, your lack of understanding the consequences, right, has already rubbed off on somebody else. So now that new guy you brought onto your crew, he doesn't care about it either. He doesn't seem to mind that he's not harnessed in, because guess what? You didn't harness in. Why should he? You were in that man lift, 20, 30 feet in the air, changing a light bulb in the shop. Why should he harness in the next time? He come out and watched you as a new person see it happen, right? I've got to tell this story because it really hit home with me. So, there was a guy working on the side of the road on a man lift. He was on one of those telescoping booms, and he was lanyard in with his fall protection, okay, in a 6-point harness, and something went wrong with the man lift. Now, he had a cell phone. He had a 2-way radio. And all of those man lifts you can operate from the bottom without any issues. And they could have done that. But he chose not to call anybody else. He chose to unhook himself, to take off his safety line, to take off his lanyard, and fix the problem. And when he was fixing it, he bumped a control, and the machine jolted and went down an embankment. And the machine didn't tip over, but he was thrown from the basket. And when he landed, okay, a fiberglass pole impaled him right through like the abdomen area. So like just above his stomach, to where it didn't hit his lungs. It didn't hit his heart. Okay, they cut the fiberglass pole off, sent him to the hospital. All right, called his wife, told her what was going on. He was working out of town. She couldn't get to the hospital. He died before he came out of surgery. She never got to say goodbye. He never got to say goodbye. All because he chose to disconnect himself and fix it, when he had 2 means of communication and there was over 20 people on the ground. He made the choice that he could fix it. He was complacent. He'd done this before, and he knew what had to be done. So instead of calling somebody to get help, he never went home that night. Think about that for just a couple seconds. How often have you done something? How often have you been in a situation where you could have called for help, where somebody else could have fixed the problem from a different location, from a different area, from a different angle, but you chose to do it because you've done it before and nothing bad has happened? Right? We've all done it. I'm guilty. I'm 100% guilty of that multiple times. And you know what I look at? Right now, I look at it as that when I go to a job site, when I roll up on a crew, people look to me for wisdom. They do the same thing with all of you. They're looking at you saying, man, this is the guy who knows what's going on. This is the guy that our company trusts to come in and tell us how it's done. How would you feel if I came in and talked to your guys about, let's just say, load securement, right? And then I pull in with a trailer, and I've got a skid steer on it with 1 chain. No boomers, just a chain. Nothing. And the trailer's got 1 axle on it. It's a 10,000-pound skid steer, and you know that it's overloaded. You can tell from the pickup it's overloaded. How would you feel? How would your guys feel? Are they going to trust anything I say from that point forward? No. And that leads us straight back into slips, trips, and falls, because guess what? When you guys roll up on scene, when you guys roll up on the job site, and you go out there and you're not leading, they're not going to follow you. And if they do follow you, it's going to be the wrong example. they're going to say, oh, this guy does it this way. Oh, this gal can do it without that. Guess what? So can I. So can I. So every time you go out there, you have to always lead by example. You have to always be the one who's doing it right. You have to not be afraid to give that to them, okay? All right, guys, slips, trips, and falls. I told you that it would be short and sweet. And here's the thing. Go out there, practice safety. Always put yourself, first. Always show yourself as a leader. Always show yourself as a leader even when you're not in charge, because that makes the biggest difference in the world. Doesn't matter who you are. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot. I hope that you're keeping your job area clean. Hope that you don't let complacency sink in for slips, trips, and falls, or anything else for that matter. Always stay harnessed in when you climb. Always follow the rules and regulations. Get out there and be a leader. Okay, guys, that's it. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. We'll talk to you soon.